We are live here in the Pace Studios. We're here with Lady Antebellum. Welcome.
Thank you.
Thank you for having us.
Thanks for being here today. Can you tell us a little bit about this first song you're going to play for us?
Yes, the first song we're going to do is the title track off her new record. It's Heartbreak. And it's the song that when we wrote it, we felt like we had this song to kind of write the rest of the album around. It was one of the first ones we wrote. We were in Florida on a writer's retreat. And it's just a really empowering message about instead of jumping from relationship to relationship, taking time in between to give your heart a break.
It's actually a play on words, two separate words, heartbreak. So it's about taking a heartbreak. And this was a song I think once we wrote it, we felt like we finally had a little bit of a musical direction for the rest of the record. And we were kind of off the races once we had this one. So it's one of our favorites.
Great.
So,
Whenever you're ready.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Take a heartbreak out late, solo on a Saturday night, going out without a +1. I'm done falling over pickup lines. I'm single for the summer, I won't rebound. One lover to another, I'll be tied down to. I'm sleeping like a queen in the California king I make. I think it's time to take a heartbreak. I think it's time to take a heartbreak. It's just a little phase, give me a little space. You might see through it, but I'm putting on a poker face, giving love a rest between my ex and my next. I think it's time to take a heartbreak out late, solo on a Saturday night, going out without a +1. I'm done falling over pickup lines. I'm single for the summer, I won't rebound. One lover to another, I'll be tied down till I'm sleeping like a queen in the California king I make. I think it's time to take a heartbreak. I think it's time to take a heartbreak. Time to take a heartbreak.
I'm single for the summer, won't be.
I think it's time to take a heartbreak. Oh, I think it's time to take a heartbreak. Out late, solo on a Saturday night, going out without a +1. I'm done falling over pickup lines. I'm single for the summer, I won't rebound. One lover to another, I'll be tied down till I'm sleeping like a queen in the California king I make. I think it's time to take a heartbreak. I think it's time to take a heartbreak.
And the small crowd goes wild.
Thank you.
Sounded great.
Thank you so much.
So I'm curious, you mentioned that writer's retreat, and what made you feel like you needed to get out of Nashville to go to Florida and sort of record this record?
Well, it was Dave's idea actually. We had the last several albums just purely out of necessity wrote a lot on the road, you know. And I think that was one of the reasons we even took a little bit of a break ourselves. We gave ourselves a bit of a year to get kind of re-inspired. It had always been put out a record, go tour, go right back in the studio. And, we all have kids now and spouses, and it was like responsibility. It was like, what if we gave ourselves a chance to literally go down to Florida, go out to California and get out of our normal routine for a little bit and just focus on the music. And
Switching up the
that's kind of what we
process.
did, switch up the process.
Yeah.
And I mean, now, we were talking, we might have kind of opened up the formula for the next chapter of Lady Antebellum just to kind of stay re-inspired. Because sometimes you do get in a little bit of a writer's block rut, when you try to force it a little bit too much.
And being able to live together in one space, I think, not to speak for you, but
totally.
that really was a huge part of it too, of like we woke up and we went to bed every night, like in the same house, under the same roof, talking about the songs we'd written, having a great time,
Drinking too much.
reconnecting, and playing old songs that we were laughing at. And it was just such quality time that we needed.
From a songwriting perspective, for us, having that break, I think, was the most important thing for us, because we came back in with a well, I think, of songwriting ideas. The very first week we were in Florida at the writer's retreat, we wrote 9 or 10 songs in those first 4 days. And just once that happened, we wrote Heartbreak and Big Love in a Small Town and This City and Good Time to Be Alive, all within the first 2 days, probably 48 hours of writing.
Yeah.
And so I felt like that was such an important, special moment for us to be able to build back up our songwriting well and change the process up by living together and working together all day long.
When you're living together and working together in one space rather than writing on the road like you had been before, does that place sort of find its way into the music as you're writing it?
I think so, for sure.
Yeah,
I mean,
there's a lot
we
of
felt so
positivity to
free.
this record, yeah.
We felt so free because we weren't bound by a calendar. We knew we knew we had set aside a certain amount of time to be in Florida and then in Southern California, but then the record being completed, we didn't have a deadline. So it just felt very creative and free and fun. It was like we got to be the most productive we've ever been, but we were in vacation mode, which was really sweet.
Awesome. Well, can you tell us a little bit about this next song you're going to play for us?
Yeah, this next song, it's a little different, kind of, again, mixing up the process a little bit. And this is the first time we've ever featured horns in one of our songs. And
We didn't bring them today.
yeah, we did not bring them. We figured it would be too loud. But, it's fun. We've actually added them into the show. And they're playing on some of our older hits like Downtown and Love Don't Live Here. And they've really elevated the show and the sound of our band from a live show perspective. And, it was funny, when we first put it out, I was like, it was interesting. A few of the country stations were a little hesitant. They're like, I don't have horns in a country song. And we were like, Johnny Cash been doing it for years. Chesney and Toby Keith, a lot of guys, feature horns and have featured horns in the past. And it's really been kind of fun to see it, as it's coming up, on the charts and stuff. It really is a fan favorite, especially in the live show. And I think it described too kind of where we are in our lives in the making of this record. It was such a fun thing. And I laugh about it. It's, it could be viewed as a song, from more of a youthful perspective. I think it more of like, it's like with my wife and I, we're in our 30s now and we don't quite feel as young and hot as we used to. So sometimes we go out and we get all dressed up. I'm like, baby, you look good. She's like, you look good too. And you can have your little night where you feel special. And I think that's what this song's about.
Great. Well, whenever you're ready.
Yeah.
On a boat, on a beach, in the water, in the sand, in the back of a bar, cold beer in your hand. Breaking hearts, breaking necks when we're rolling down the street, heads turning all day when they're seeing with me.
I'm thinking everybody better stay
throw the horns in
I
ourselves.
was gonna say that's the first time we've ever done that song just acoustic. It's like
Yeah.
it was fun.
It was fun.
I do miss the horns, though.
I do too.
Makeshift horns they
I
put
know.
in there.
I need like a kazoo.
There you go.
Actually, probably you could
Yeah.
make a little noise like a kazoo. Do we have a kazoo in the room?
Don't think
We have
so.
everything else in the studio.
Sadly,
kazoo.
no. Well, I wanted to ask you a little bit about. I read an interview that you did where you mentioned that this record feels like a spiritual follow-up to "Need You Now," and I was wondering if you could sort of elaborate on that.
Yeah, when we started talking to our producer Busby about working together on this record, he just really challenged us, I think, to dig deeper and to really, he said, that album, Need You Now, he goes, I never skip a song when I listen to it to this day. And I want to be the captain of this ship of making a record that makes me feel that way again. And we love the records in between Need You Now and Heartbreak. But like Charles was saying earlier, it was just a really hectic time in our careers, and we wrote a lot. We found great songs, but there was not like
There's much more pressure on it. I think the biggest thing of it being like, kind of a conceptual follow-up in a way is like just writing with an extreme confidence again. There was always a little bit of that in the back of your mind. Oh gosh, all right, how are we going to follow up Need You Now? Okay, gosh, all right, the record label really wants they're asking for a big rocker, and you're like, it's hard to just force those things, and it's like, you get to the point where you start second guessing yourself a little bit. And we went into this process and we're like, we're not going to second
So
guess one
confident,
thought of
yeah.
it.
When
and
I think
get
about
after
the
it.
track listing of that album too, I mean, it was so present to where we were in our life at that point, and that's how this album is as well. It's like we wrote from a very present, authentic, like we've either been through it or we're in the middle of it or we're going to go through it place. And so I think that's some similarity as well.
Great. Well, you've got one more for us.
Yeah.
Can you
Yes.
tell us what it is and tell us a little bit about it?
Absolutely.
Yeah, we
Dave.
wrote this next song back in Nashville. So we wrote a handful of songs in Florida on the writer's retreat, went to Los Angeles, lived in a house out there under the Hollywood sign, and worked in a studio out there in Toluca Lake with Busby and had the time of our lives. And we came back to Nashville, and there were a few kind of maybe missing pieces, I think, on the record. You Look Good came out of being back in Nashville. And this next song we wrote, Somebody Else's Heart, with Shane McAnally and our
was the
producer
last one, I think.
Busby.
It
Very
was.
last song we wrote for the record, which is a good omen for us in the past. Need You Now was one of the last ones. Just a Kiss, one of the last ones we wrote for some of our earlier records. And
Yeah.
sometimes at the very end of a project, I feel like you have a clear sense of what you're needing and wanting to say that you haven't said yet on the record. So
I remember too, we had from the night before working in the studio, our producer Busby and the three of us had kind of just been tooling around with some different ideas, and we had come up with a little bit of a melodic thing and another song too that we, because Shane McAnally, who we were writing with the next day, we know he's always going to come in with a wealth of ideas, lyrical ideas, and so we said, all right, let's get us some melodic thoughts going and some grooves, and
You want to
and-
be prepared when
yeah,
you're in the
and
room
when
with
in the
him.
minute we started on this one, he threw out this line. He goes, I had this idea of, wishing you could love somebody with, wishing you could love someone with somebody else's heart. It's like you want to feel all those great things that love and that this person, this makes you feel, but you're going to get heartbroken in the end, but you're
You don't
probably
wanna
still
feel
going
the
to do
fall.
it. You don't want
Yeah.
to feel the fall.
want to catch the buzz, but not the hangover. And it's all about, like you said, feeling the highs, but not having to go through the lows.
Yeah, and it just felt really not only relatable. I think everybody has been in that place before, but it's all a place we've been before too. And so this is the duet, male and female perspective, and it's definitely one of my favorites on the record.
We'd love to hear it.
Awesome.
You think I'd be more resistant to put myself in this position? Yeah, we always go there, down a road that leads nowhere, somewhere between lovers and just friends.
I saw you parked outside the party. I knew you'd be by the bar. I wish there was a heart I could borrow just till tomorrow. 'Cause this is always
Thank you.
Thank you.
That's really great.
Thank you.
Well, before we let you go, we want to let people who are tuned in know where they can next catch you live.
Yes.
Do you want to let people know the next couple days?
Absolutely. So tomorrow we're on Jimmy Fallon, so tune in. And we are out on the You Look Good World Tour with Kelsey Ballerini and Brett Young, and we have...
All the dates are on LadyAntebellum.com.
They are. We
but
started 2 weeks ago out on the West Coast, and now we're working our way into North Carolina and Virginia this weekend.
Then we go to,
And-
is it Pittsburgh after that in the next week? Philly, Pittsburgh?
I think
Yeah,
so.
it is.
We don't know. Check our
They're
calendar.
all on the website.
They tell us where to go and we
Yes.
go.
We take it about 2 days at a time.
Absolutely. Well, thank you so much for
Thank
being
you.
here
This
today.
was
We
fun.
Thank
really
you for
appreciate
having
it.
us. This was an amazing experience. We really appreciate it and hope everybody had fun watching.